I had the
Mariners won today. Okay.
Yeah. Look at that. Like we're already like cold open.
already into segment one, guys. Yeah.
I know. Well, look, you know what, man? Like didn't have you for a week. Had to throw 2 bullpen games.
I know. I was on the IL, but you know what? Unlike Zach Wheeler, I am throwing back at full velocity tonight. So I'm ready to go.
Also, I didn't realize. Anyways, quietly, Quinn Priester has the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that either. What is it? What is the actual ailment called again? TOS. Yeah.
Thoracic.
Terms of service.
Yeah, terms of service. Yeah. But you know,
I just refer to it as the Matt Harvey, and what is it? The Matt Harvey and my boy Merrill Kelly.
Merrill Kelly.
Yeah, they're injured.
Merrill Kelly starting on Tuesday. That being said, you are listening to Dad's Bet or watching Dad's Bet Baseball. I am Berg. Adam Rosenberg. And with me, as always, Slippin' Jimmy, CJ Buskey. We are brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, hofapp.com, using code DADS. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But I was just saying to CJ that welcome back from a nice trip to California. The show went on without you. It was fun. Scott and I jinxed the Yankees. The Yankees have not won a game since Scott and I did an episode where all we did was gushed on.
Yeah, they lost They've lost 5 in a row, I think. I mean, Ben Rice keeps cashing for me. It's great, but
we cashed the over 5.5 L's for the Yankees.
Wait, no. They still have to lose one more though. If
they lose,
they lose again. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
we cashed that bet.
I thought that we were going to have to wait till June at least for this one, for the 5.5, because that's when the Boone teams always do this. But we might get lucky, and by April 13th,
well, that's
already cashed.
The entire thing is like this team is like hot out of the gate. Is that kind of weird? And Scott's like, no, I don't understand the question. And I'm like, all right, whatever, fine. And then immediately they just lost 5 straight. But yeah, like, I mean, look, we didn't plan on doing a futures check, but a quick April futures check. Let me pull this up just real quick for us. All of our race 2s died. Go Dodgers, whatever.
Yeah, Dodgers, I know. Fuck them.
Guardians over 12.5 wins look great.
Yep. Guardians could catch Pirates that this week.
Yeah, Pirates over 14.5 wins looks great. Red Sox over 13.5 wins is not dead yet. That team will be fine, by the way. But Yankees' longest losing streak over 5.5. We just need one more, and then they cash that.
I feel pretty good about. I mean, out of those you just said, Pirates, Guards, Yankees,
Pirates and Guardians are going to hit.
Those 3.
That's 3 early season wins.
So. Yeah, the Brewers one. The Brewers one hurt for me, but
yeah, well, but you know what? It's good for us long term.
True. Not
because we just wanted them to do well the first week, the first couple months, the first month actually, and then we're like good. And Bryce Terang, we want Bryce Terang to do whatever. We want them to be like firmly 78 wins or 80 wins, and Bryce Terang to have a monster year. So. But some teams that are – so, look, this is a great segue because some teams that are not doing very well out of the gate I wanted to talk about. So, of these 3 teams, let's just get right into it. Of these 3 teams that made the playoffs last year and had very high hopes this year because they spent a lot, who's more fucked?
I love this segment
Toronto
title.
Blue Jays, the Philadelphia Phillies, or the Seattle Mariners? Go.
Okay, so I am going to start this by just saying that I want to compare these 3 teams to 3 2025 teams. And we're going to put them in each of these buckets, okay? So the 3 teams from
One of them, the Texas Rangers.
Yes, one of them is the Texas Rangers. One of them is the Texas Rangers.
I know you.
So one of them is the Texas Rangers.
I knew this was coming.
I had to slip the Texas Rangers. Mention on the pod. Okay, so Rangers is 1. Baltimore Orioles is the second one. And then the third team would be the Milwaukee Brewers. So of those 3 teams, if you think about how those 2025 seasons played out for those teams, you had all of them start mid or below average, which is similar to these 3 teams that you just brought up. And all three of them had different sort of trajectories that we got to the end of the season with, right? Because you had Orioles, they were dead. We did an episode in end of April, basically putting them in the coffin. We tried to resurrect them once later in June, and then we were like, no, they're definitely dead. The Rangers, they just kind of like played footsie with us the whole season. And they ended the season vastly underperforming, but not as bad as the Orioles. And their Pythag said ultimately they should have been a lot better. And then obviously the Brewers started out the season really mid. You had the player-only team meetings. You had the Pat Murphy meetings. Like, there was some weird stuff going on. And then they, of course, go and have the best record in baseball rest of the season. So judging by that, where do you think each of the three teams you mentioned fall? Which one do you think each one maps to? And then I think we can kind of go from there and break down which team is the most fucked. Okay,
just getting a minute. So 3 were the Brewers.
It's the best case scenario.
The Rangers.
That's like I wouldn't say worst case, but like this is the team that's just going to end up finishing basically mid.
And what was the third one again?
Orioles, which would be this is the team that's fucked.
I think the Blue Jays are fucked. Our Orioles fucked.
I agree. Let's settle this right now real quick with the Blue Jays, because
I mean like everybody's hurt. Just like to talk about it. Like, everybody's hurt. They have a negative run differential. They coming back home is no longer safe for them. They should have. They didn't even show up for that Dodgers series.
They got embarrassed in that Dodgers series. Yep.
And they should have after they got swept in Chicago, which was fine, because I looked at it. I said, you know what? This White Sox team is spunky, and by the way, they're hitting better, and they are spunky.
They're kind of what we expected. Yes,
they kind of expected. Like, we're not going to talk about this episode, but like Noah Schultz is coming up. Like they're like Cannon made a start today. He looked terrible, but he stinks anyway. Like, they're like, look, dude, we're doing it. We're going to try to see what we got. They got buried in that. Like, I haven't heard a word about Bieber or Berrios being close to coming back. They do not have answers in the front of their rotation. They do not have answers in the back of their bullpen. And I think Kirk being out is a huge deal.
I was just about to say Kirk out of all those injuries to me is the biggest deal. And also because he's just he's one of, I think, the better catchers in baseball at understanding the strike zone and to be able to call pitches. And he's one of the leaders in the clubhouse for them. Barger's hurt. Springer with the fractured left big toe, but
what was he batting when that happened?
He was batting 185 when that happened. So
let's go.
He was batting like shit before that. For full transparency for listeners, we have a George Springer under, I think it's at 271, something in that area for average.
268.
So, and this team is also trying to put on they put on way too much expectations, in my opinion, for Savage. When he went on the IL to begin the season, that was a big red flag. Hasn't even pitched. They tried to bring Cody Ponce in here. Season-ending ACL tear, basically.
Oh, he did tear his ACL. I didn't even.
Yeah, only after 3 innings. Scherzer, that was, to me, reeked of desperation to bring Scherzer back. He looks terrible. So we were cool on this team. I'm not trying to victory lap on our preseason takes. It's obviously very early, but when you're off to the worst, when you're off to the worst run differential start in franchise history, and you are dealing with all of these injuries, and it's like there's not really a timetable for most of the guys. Maybe Barger comes back soon, and you're playing in a division where the teams above you have pretty much underperformed and are probably going to be playing better anyways.
I would agree.
I don't see a path for them.
I'm a little concerned on the O's, but I think that they'll figure some stuff out.
O's, I would agree. I have more signal to be concerned about the O's than I do the Red
and I think
Sox
you and I
or
agree.
the Yankees.
It rhymes with schmaz and schmadish. Not looking good at all.
Yes. It's not the. I want to go and kind of run all over Pete Alonso's Mets grave, but it's not due to him playing that crap. So okay, so we know the team that's fucked. So now let's talk about the other two that I compared to. So out of the Mariners and the Phillies, which one are you comparing to the Rangers, who would basically end up finishing the season relatively mid and underperforming?
The Mariners, 100%.
Interesting. Okay. All right. See, this is not where I was going to go with this. I'm going to disagree with you, but go on. I want to hear your take.
Okay. Well, I think the Mariners are closer to the Rangers right now. In terms of they have a they lead the league in starting pitching staff ERA. So they're doing exactly what they were supposed to do there, which reminds you of the Rangers.
Yep.
Cal Raleigh is hitting 143. I mean, the Harper showed up this weekend, did something. Harper's kind of turning it on, doing those things, but like Cal Raleigh didn't even look good at the WBC. So I can't even put this into, he just needs the reps. It doesn't like this team doesn't like, they look really, really bad in the hitting department and they look really good in the pitching department. So it's very easy for me to say, oh, look, you guys are the Rangers from last year.
Interesting. See, I that's a good way to position it because the Rangers were exactly the same. I mean, you literally made the direct comparison to the pitching and the hitting, which is exactly what happened with the Rangers. So I think the Mariners, all right, so first off, had a couple of maybe tougher than expected series than we gave some credit for. Guardians look like they're going to be a little bit feistier than we had preseason, or at least look Guardians they're a solid baseball club. They're fine. Had that series against the Yankees when the Yankees
they have a good manager.
The Yankees are playing well. And
Chase Lauder looks like a dude.
Out of those three teams, now I'm catching myself saying this because this is the same problem that the Rangers had. They're the only ones with a positive run differential. And their Pythag actually does state that they should be above or around like at least a little bit above 500 from what I at least looked at from yesterday. So I'm not as worried about the Mariners, and also in that division, the Astros look like garbage. The Angels are fun, but they're the Angels.
Yeah,
and
they're the Angels. So that's it. That's exactly
who in their division am I like super concerned with? And am I really concerned with the Rangers? Not particularly, not yet. I would put the Mariners in the team that is in the buy low I'm least worried about. I had the Phillies as the Rangers comparison here, and it's similar. Now, look, you mentioned that the Mariners aren't hitting, and you're absolutely right. Phillies also are not hitting, and
didn't score runs in 2 or 3 games against the Giants.
Was it one of like 20? I think there was like 27 innings or something, or 26 innings where they only scored like 1 run. So
yeah, I mean, they had that Giants series. After they scored their first run in the first game, they went 27 innings without scoring a run.
Yeah.
And then they set a record, or they tied a record for the most times that they struck out against the D-backs on Friday. And that was in a game where they were up 4-0 and then didn't score a run again and lost 5-4.
Yep.
And Saturday, in a game that they won, they scored 4 runs in 1 inning and never scored again.
And then they scored 3 runs today in 1 inning and then didn't score again. I think because I had the Gallon over 2.5 earned runs.
Painter came in the bullpen and looked great. But so finish your thought and then.
Well, so I guess the batting stuff. All the power metrics are saying this team cannot get any sort of lift on the ball. They're bottom of the league in barrel rate, around like 8%. They're in terms of runs scored, you mentioned it already, 26th in the league. Slug, they are 19th at 359, and they're also chasing a lot, 31%. Only 1 home run per every 33 at-bats with the team, which is also near the bottom of the league. Harper, I'm not concerned about
home runs are also down across. Home runs are down across the board.
That's fair,
big time.
Harper I'm not concerned about him. I'm not concerned about Schwarber. By the way, this is the typical Kyle Schwarber you get, who's going to hit like around under 200, but still going to generate like a plus 350 OBP. I think the lack of power basically anywhere else in the lineup, from Turner and down from Stott, Bohm, wherever, that part is concerning to me. The ERA as a staff is a little bit concerning to me. the Wheeler stuff, which we were depending on, when one of the things I like this team a lot over their win total preseason, we've seen his velo not look great. Now, again, that's like, it's early, but he's almost like 4 miles below his average around 96. That's a big concern. And that's somebody that they were really depending, I think, to come back like relatively soon, like basically end of April or May, to kind of solidify the staff. So I'm not ready to like go and raise a 5-alarm fire on the Phillies, but there's, man, the power stuff, like some of the stuff I was a little bit nervous about preseason with the lineup is kind of coming into fruition. It's just, I know lineup variance happens more than pitching variance, and I'm not concerned about their pitching just yet.
Sure.
And
Durant's so been great. The pushback on Durant's been, dude, Justin Crawford's been great. I mean, the thing is about the Phillies, and I was the one who flagged you. Yeah, their Pythag's really bad.
Yeah,
like
I was surprised you brought them
up
for this segment, because at first I was like, I'm not really too worried about them, and you're like, I have some concerns with their.
So I'm not. My expectations are a little bit tempered because here's the thing with this Phillies team: more than any other ballpark, they turn on that power. They get that power moving during the summer, just like because of just how CBP's built and how they move things. But they're struggling with, it feels like it's early, but it feels like they're struggling with teams that are beneath them. And they haven't really shown me anything. And I'm not like, I blinked, and like that Luzardo game I called out with Jules. I said, this is gonna be a flat spot, but they blinked. It's the lack of urgency after they were scoring. The troubling thing for me is that they're scoring in bunches, and then it's almost like, oh, well, then we know how to adapt to these guys and throw to them. And then they're not scoring again the rest of the game. And it's sort of, if you're in basketball and a guy is torching you, you're like, all right, well, let's just throw a trap or something. And then he never scores again. And you just had no other way of doing it. It's sort of like the complaint people have about Jalen Hurts. It's like Jalen Hurts does certain things extremely well. But if you game script out those things and make him do normal things, he can't do them as well, and you beat him. And like that was very evident last year, and that's where good OCs matter. But you know, they look like a 500 team. Like they don't look like, and so I'm not worried because it just got warm this weekend. And even forget about the results. This whole weekend series, hitting wise, looked the way that the team should look. But for the first 2 weeks, they looked like a B-side version of the October team. I mean,
NL East team playing down to teams that probably should be beneath them. Wonder what other NL East teams I can name in that same sentence that are doing that. All right, I'm not going to go into my team, but
okay, wait. So flip this around. So so you have the Phillies as the Rangers,
correct? We both have the Blue Jays as the 2025 Orioles, which just never, like, they were completely screwed for the whole season out of the gate. I don't see this turning around. Like
the Mariners have a historically inept offense right now. Like it's very bad.
I guess the thing with the Mariners that I am less concerned about is, I already mentioned the division, but there's still guys on that team that are like younger than some of the Phillies stars that they're depending on. Like also Raleigh, like, okay, he's obviously been as bad as you said he's been. Even if he gets up to like 220, like even his career average is only around like 243. It's not like he's ever really been a great contact type of hitter. I see more paths, I guess, for like positive regression on their lineup than I do Philly. That being said, I think both of these teams will make moves if they need to make moves. And the one thing I think in the Phillies camp that the Mariners don't have is, I have a feeling that I have a feeling that the Phillies would be willing to be more aggressive to make a bigger type of trade or call up, move, whatever, than the Mariners would. given that I just think they're
I don't think the Mariners are going to add a lot.
No, I think the Mariners think that they have a window that can last a couple seasons potentially. I think the Phillies, the sentiment I get and coming into this season is like, all right, guys, like we're bringing this back. We're signing Schwarber. We still got Harper. We still got Turner. We're going to hopefully get back Wheeler. Like, this is it. Like, we've got to do something here on basically this season or next. And
yeah.
So anyways, that would be kind of where I would put all three of those teams. But I definitely think if a betting angle, I'm trying to fade the shit out of the Jays. I will continue to fade them if I'm going to get plus prices for like teams like the White Sox that are going to be playing against them.
Yeah, I think they look better. Like I had Twins first 5 run line at plus 150 today, and they were down 1-0, and they still
don't go bet Taj Bradley to win Cy Young. By the way, yet I know he's been like sick the first week or so.
I mean, we'll talk about it on a future episode, but don't go bet Jose Soriano to win Cy Young either. Yes. But while we like him and we've been on him for a while, and we think he will be a perfect Atlanta Brave when this team sells. Don't bet him for a variety, because
oh man,
a 72 win Angels team is not producing a Cy Young. Anyway, but we'll talk about that another time. Okay, so with that said, let's talk about handicaps. Talk about Hall of Fame bets. So Hall of Fame bets. HOFapp.com using code DADS will get you 50% off the first month. We want to show you one of the markets I have loved lately as I pull this up is I've been using a lot of race to X neither for teams. We are still in under season, and I love it. And so the Phillies total today was 8.5. Which, for how this team has been hitting, I thought was crazy. And I thought Painter was going to have a good bounce back, which he did, just in the weirdest way because he came out of the bullpen. But I didn't want to bet the under 8.5 because I just didn't, I'm not huge on this D-backs offense either. And as I share handigraphs, you can kind of see here. Let me make it a little bigger. But Arizona's got hit a WRC plus, third worst WRC plus in the league. Phillies is 27th or 26th. So they're comparable. These are both not great offenses. So I wanted to do neither team to 5 and it was -5. Neither team to 6 and it was -105. So what I do is, though, I go into Hall of Fame bets and I go to leaders and I go to teams and I go to game lines and I go to total runs, or I go to team runs. And I do an under on like a team total. And this is just a really fun way to use this.
Interesting.
And let's see if
I like this approach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this already is into tomorrow. Like, actually, let's use something. I'll use one of tomorrow's for it. Let's find a couple teams that I'm not super into their offense. Okay, great one. Cleveland and St. Louis. This is a good one. Let's do this. So Cleveland and St. Louis are tomorrow. And I'll probably look at neither team 2 on a market for them for tomorrow, because both of these teams, like 3 of the last 5, neither of them have scored 6 runs. So far this season, Guardians have 53% of the time they have scored under 6 runs, and almost 47% of the time the Cardinals have scored under 6 runs. So we might find some value on this. The total's probably going to be 8. So I don't even know who's pitching.
It's going to definitely be. I think it's going to be 8 because it's Gavin Williams for the Cards.
Even better
for the Cards.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I love this then. Yeah. Oh, I love this. This is good. Yeah. So this is absolutely a neither team to 5 for me, and you can get those at plus money, and it's great. I won it the other day, neither team to 5 in the Cubs Pirates game, despite it going to extra innings. I won it because they won Pirates won 4-3. So yeah, this is just a really great way to do it. And one of the great things on Hall of Fame bets is that you can go to leaderboard and you can go to teams and you can kind of have this breakdown, and it's really well done. And they're both actually, if you really want to get the answer key from them, it's even better because they say both of these have a matchup for the under of a day. Yeah. So it's just it's a great way to kind of play both sides on this. I had a really bad beat the other night on Rockies, Padres, neither team to 5 because of the grand slam in extra innings, which by the way made no sense because if you were why would you walk Machado if you're trying to induce a double play when I know he hit a home run today or yesterday. He's not a threat to hit a home run. He actually is like a great, not anymore. Generally is not. And it was just such a wild thing to have a walk-off grand slam happen and lose everything on that. Like it was a terrible beat. So that thing was cruising until then. So anyway, Hall of Fame bets, use code DADS. First week's free, 50% off. But that's a neat way that I'm using it. And that's all I have to say.
By the way, total on that game?
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
So,
okay, nailed it.
That's and that is the correct total. So if you like the under, don't bet.
It makes me feel so sharp. See, you know what? When they hang an 8, they're saying we don't know. So yeah. So let me. In fact, while we're on air, I'll look at it right now.
I mean, 8 to me usually says. We want to make this 7.5, but one of the starters is we just can't trust enough to put this at 7.
Like they have no idea. So 8 means we have no idea.
Yeah.
A flat 8. Yeah, no idea. They don't have the market up yet, but I'm going to assume I'm going to want neither team to 6 based on juice. Possibly neither team to 5 if it's a nice number.
Jesus, so. Gavin Williams, 37.3% K rate. His walk rate is actually absurd, almost 21%. He's got to figure out how to get that down. But he's got to stop throwing. He's got to stop throwing so many pitches. Yeah, he's just got to throw off speed stuff. That they cannot touch him when he throws curveballs.
Yeah. He sets it up.
Yeah,
but that's how he sets it up. He's like a big white Christopher Sanchez.
He kind of is a little bit. Christopher Sanchez is more lanky though. Yeah. Like not as.
Yeah. No, he's not a good old boy. All right. Let's talk about some dudes though. Some dudes that have been, frankly, a lot of fun. I want to talk about James Wood and Jordan Walker. So. I don't know if you've been living under a rock or you just decided to start looking at baseball, but those guys had really big weeks, especially Jordan Walker. Jordan Walker has had a big couple weeks. Jordan Walker has, dare I say, arrived finally after 3 years. So, first things first. I mean, James Wood, the reason I pulled out these two guys is because what is really interesting about both of them as I go to Handigraphs is that Jordan Walker has a pull rate of 35%, which is actually like absurd. Like they're all split into thirds, but 35% isn't really generally you don't see as a league leader in home runs. And James Wood, he has a 30 pull. So these guys are doing their damage oppo and center because they are frankly massive big dudes and they do this. So I just think it's really interesting that they're, James Wood, especially because he had such a horrific second half of the season last year, and he looks like he's kind of figured some things out. And he's, given how the Nationals are, we don't think he has good coaching. So I'm glad that he's kind of figured this out. So let's start with him, and then we'll talk about Jordan Walker. But what are you thinking about like James Wood right now? Like what has kind of been popping for you? Have you bet? I haven't bet him yet. I bet him 2Ks. It was feeding families, and then suddenly he kind of
he's still K'ing a lot
and said stop doing
he's still
that.
Striking out a lot, as is Jordan Walker, which by the way I can now create a filter to see both
that comes with that territory
names on Handigraphs because we have an or that I can put in the filter.
Do you want to show people how to do that?
I can. Yeah. Why don't you show I got to pull this up on my screen here, but it's pretty nifty because we had this before where we're like, let's talk about a specific player. I'm like, I really want to show Handigraphs, but I can't because I can only search one player. So yeah, I think Spencer, you're gonna have to like add to the screen here because I don't know if I am.
I just got the greatest text, by the way, from Mobes. Mobes just said when he's about to jump back onto HG that he's going to combine stuff with some of these filter things that he's done on the rhythm, and he's just like, I'm ready to cook. And I'm like, yeah, dude. So anyway,
yeah, I mean, all you have to do if you are on it, you just click filter, and then like you go down. I'm just putting in player. And then I just put in equal to, type in the name, boom. And then all I have to do is click this or. I'll click add condition. And then when I click down here, able to apply it. Now I got them both up.
So you're just like, I want this player or this player.
That's all it is. I just want to see these two players, and then now I have that. I don't have to like go and search each one. It's nice to have this for podcast prep. But so okay, James Wood, as you asked, what's interesting to me is like this is literally the same guy that we saw in April and May last year. Like it's like James Wood. We talked the whole first segment. We were talking about like 2025 teams. This is 2025 James Wood and James Wood's 2026 body. It's exactly what he did.
Yeah, but we're just very used to seeing July, August, September James Wood, and it looks really bad.
Which is why, like, I am. Which we'll get to here in a second. I'm more like willing to buy into is this real for Walker than I am with James Wood, because I think like the K rate was his big problem last year. It continues to be his big problem this year. He still can't hit off speed at all. He's one of the best fastball hitters probably in the league at this point, at least when he's able like to consistently make contact. And I just, as awesome as a week as he has had, I thought his preseason home run line, I think was like 24.5, which still was too low.
Jordan Walker's was?
No, I'm talking about James Wood. James Woods was like, I think it was like 24.5.
Yeah. Well, we have him for 35. Right. Yeah.
He hit 31 last year, which he basically hit like 29 of them before July. And then that was the player you got for the 2+K special from after that. But I thought like 24.5, even coming into this year, I'm like, he's too talented to not hit this number if he's seeing the ball well for a couple of weeks. And I think that's kind of where we're seeing it with Wood now. I know like there's been some stuff that he worked on in the offseason that people had talked about, and like his manager Butera or whatever has said, this is basically trying to make comparisons to Soto, which I think is laughable given how much he strikes out and isn't really able to walk. Well, he has a 13% walk rate. So I don't know, man. That's kind of my take. Like
he's a giant human being, dude. So I mean,
he's
a big dude,
big guy.
I liked Jordan Walker. I just thought he had awful coaching.
Yeah, and so that's why the Jordan Walker stuff to me is a lot more interesting. And I think that you probably are still going to get him like kind of cheap on day to day. Now it's probably adjusted a lot.
I had him 9-1 yesterday to hit a home run.
Great. Well, he's hit 6 home runs.
It's my first true home run cash of the year, and I was like,
why he's 9-1 because he hit 6 home runs all of last season, and he's at 6 home runs. He leads the league in home runs right now. Like that's to say that Jordan Walker is leading the league in home runs in the same sentence. If you would have told me that even in September, I would have been like, it's like got to literally be the 1:00 game. And we're looking at the leaderboard at 4:00 on opening day. So, but my point is like, he changed a lot of stuff in his mechanics. He went from being a super open batting stance. Now he's at one of the most closed batting stances in the league. He increased his attack angle. He worked at the same facility that Weatherholt was at, who came out of spring training looking awesome. And he really said that his hitting coach, I think it was, is it Chenoweth? Yeah, Chenoweth, Casey Chenoweth, has made a big impact. Like he's kind of like tried to like work on some different things with that stance, with the angle, and it's made a big difference. So is he going to be at the rate and the pace that he is now for the rest of the season? I mean, he's hitting a 706 slug like that. That's coming down, but I mean, he was a really well-touted prospect, man. Like this is what he was supposed to be, man. Like the Cardinals have been this is the reason also there were so many people in the offseason that were saying, why are the Cardinals even letting Walker have another chance? Like we've seen it. We know that he stinks. And it's because they expected the team to stink. So they're like, look, we might as well throw him out there and see if we can try and get one more shot before we inevitably deal him for, some 30 cents on the dollar package at the trade deadline. So now I don't know I think if you're the Cardinals, like you just have to obviously keep letting him, go out there and mash. But I mean, are you in the same boat as me? Like, do you think that this is real?
Yeah. I mean, I think Wetherell's real, and I think that he's real, and I think if they were hanging out, then that's really good. It's funny you mentioned the trade because I think James Wood gets traded.
Interesting. Okay. Why would they trade James Wood
that Nats
over CJ Abrams?
Because James Wood is not sticking around with the Nats when he's done in 2 years.
Yeah.
And the Nats are not competing in the next 3 years.
Man, that makes
literally had to
sense.
send Dylan Cruz down.
Dylan Cruz.
I get it, man.
It's a tough sell to the fans.
Well, it's hilarious because they got him from the Padres, and they'll probably end up trading him back to the Padres.
I mean, what do the Padres even have to
Feels
trade
like a Preller
for
move.
James Wood at this point? Like, they don't even have any prospects in their farm system to give up for James Wood. And they had one.
I don't know.
His name was Leo DeVries, and they already gave up him.
I could see, for whatever reason, I mean, whatever, it depends on what happens. Like, we'll see. But, like, they're going to, Cronenworth's eventually going to become a Nat.
Yeah.
Like, we just know it. Like, he just kind of reeks of that.
I'm just curious on Jordan Walker. Does he have any? Because I want to do this real quick exercise. Like, does he have any lines up for tomorrow? Probably not. Not yet.
No, not yet. Definitely not yet.
If his total baseline
is there any market that you want him in
for a season? I mean, I'm looking right now. The problem right now is we're doing this at 8:10 Eastern on a Sunday. A lot of the season-long markets are going to.
I don't want him for a home run leader.
No. I mean, you would get
I don't like that ball.
You would get a crazy number on him for home run leader, even with 6.
Well, let me guess. Because the sport.bet or score.bet would have it, but like I'm guessing. Well, it's not that crazy. I'm guessing he's like 35 to 1.
Now I need to look at it.
Which is too short.
35 to 1? Yeah, that's too short. That's
what I'm guessing. But that's what I'm guessing it's going to be. He should be 60 to 1.
I might even put him a little bit longer than that. I mean, Judge hit his 4th home run today. It's not like
he also stole 2 bases. This
the Yankees have been stealing bases a lot. I know we just talked about the Yankees. So
I know. Scott talked about it. You guys talked about it.
They have been actually stealing a lot of. Okay, I'm not seeing on the score here. We'll have to find this and just tweet this out for listeners. But I think if he's like 80 to 1, maybe it's a little interesting as a season-long market. But what I was going to say is what I was trying to find for his lines. I guess I'll look at one other thing here. But like his one. So Jordan Walker was in that camp prior to the season where you could get him at like minus 105 for like over a half a base. Like that's how cool the market was on how bad or kind of how far he had really fallen. But what I'm trying to see is what was his price? Okay. So this is what I wanted. So his price, he opened the season in basically the plus 180 to plus 200 lines for total bases for over 1.5. As of today, he was at plus 140 for over 1.5 total bases.
So have you noticed that total base prices have been kind of crazy?
Yeah, they're like actually
plus 140 to plus 180. I'm seeing all over
Ben
the place.
Rice at plus 140 today, which was crazy to me, given he's a Yankee and he's been absolutely, kicking the shit out of the ball. So yeah, I guess my point is like, I'm not interested so much in a day-to-day market with Jordan Walker, or not day-to-day, sorry, season long, but day-to-day, if you're giving me plus 140, day-to-day, plus 150 for 2+ total bases, like I will continue to bet that and feel fine. Even though he is obviously on a hot streak right now.
Yeah. And I mean, look, we have James Wood at 35 to have 35 home runs, and that's fine. Again, these are day-to-day guys that I think are great on bad teams. The Cardinals are, as we thought, feisty.
They're feisty,
right
but
now.
You know what? Cardinals also were feisty to begin last season. And I mean, we had a whole episode on them at the beginning of May, and then it ended. James Wood's prices are even worse, by the way, than Jordan Walker. plus 175 was his best price today for over 1.5 total bases. That James Wood.
Wait, where are you seeing that?
I'm seeing that. Well, I won't talk about the vendor that I'm seeing this at, but I'm seeing best price that was available was plus 177. I'll have to see if I can check it on Pickett later. But
good for them. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, for him, it's almost funny because for James Wood, I almost want to do doubles or home runs for him. I don't want to bet singles for him. He's really fast, and I just don't. He had one that he laced that was a double the other day that could have been a home run in other places.
Yeah, I mean, his doubles you're going to get basically like 5-1, and
that's crazy.
He hits that around like 3 out of 10 or so, which again, 5-1, the implied probability there is a lot lower than that. So that's definitely a EV way to play that. Walker is a guy that you could actually get the multiple hits coming from. Like in 5 of his last 10, he's had at least 2+ hits. So I think I would probably just play the total bases straight for Walker, but I agree on the doubles take for Wood, unless he's in, like, as you said, if he's in a situation where conditions are decent for a home run and you're seeing him at like, I don't know, plus 350, plus 400 for a home run, then definitely bet it. But you're going to get more value on the double.
Killer. All right. Well, this is a tight episode. This is good. We captured all the things that we wanted to talk about for this, minus a discussion about Soriano that we'll save for a little bit later because I think that I got a reason why I want to do it on the Wednesday episode.
I had another team we were going to
Soriano. After Soriano,
and all I was earlier, but we'll save that.
What do you want? What was that? What do you want to say?
We'll save the
no. You want to do a
general take, I guess. Well, the only thing I was going to say was I did mention the Giants last night as should we throw the Giants in this, but you wanted to look at playoff teams.
I think they need a whole episode.
Yeah, so we'll save the Giants stuff for another time. But Giants
look like a bad baseball club.
Bad, like really bad.
I think the Tony experiment's is not a good one.
Yeah, did you see this?
I don't think that this team looks nearly as bad with a college coach.
What was the stuff about him? Forget something I read about like him dropping like some like profanity or weird stuff in the clubhouse that he was like.
I don't know, man. He's younger than you and me.
Well, and see, this is Pat Murphy was a college coach, but Pat Murphy is also not like 28 years old. Pat Murphy's like
28 years old. Yeah,
guy,
so
so it's just the dynamic is different.
That's going to become a problem for veteran. Just like I really think giving Luis Matos to the Brewers is going to come back to haunt them in the worst way.
He was, as you said, he was a rookie of the year, like top 2 candidate as of 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. There's a lot of problems I have with that team. It's funny because I opened up my desk and I have our paper ticket for the New Independent at like a terrible number. That is like faded for some reason, and I'm like, oh, this is like Back to the Future. It's just like going to erase itself from existence.
Yeah, I don't feel at all like that because the Jays started out a little mid last year, but I wasn't like, I think the Jays are really bad. I thought they were just kind of like, all right, well, we'll see.
We also had 40-1 in our pocket for them.
Tony Vitello is 47 years old, by the way. Pat Murphy, 67. Yeah.
Oh, he is? I thought he was younger than us.
I guess. But yeah,
is he really?
47.
Good for him. All right.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Good for him.
He looks as good as me. All right. So that about wraps it up. Thank you again to our sponsor, Hall of Fame Bets, hofapp.com, using code DADS. Also, thank you to CJ for working and pushing a ton of Handigraphs updates. Do you want to give a quick Handigraphs update?
I thought you were about to drop
everybody.
And thank you, CJ, for being here again. Like, thank you for fucking showing up for the podcast.
Yeah, always.
Also,
always, right?
Yes, a lot of stuff for Handigraphs. Make sure to check out on X. We put out a whole list of them. I recorded a video, but tons of new features you can do with filtering. New stuff for weather that we have for both Park Factor, Home Run Factor. We have all new team stats available and really exciting stuff for the Game Center and Edge Center. recaps, watch list, etc. If you look by like some of the Game Center stuff, man, like the Angels and the Reds one, like just completely game script. Like it was exactly how it played out. I'm not saying this happens for every single Game Center card, but
let me read it. Can I read it? Can I read it?
Go read it.
I'm going to read it. The Reds host the Angels in a matchup featuring Andrew Abbott against Jose Soriano. Abbott has struggled against righties, and the Angels counter with a lineup featuring 8 right-handed batters. Soriano has been dominant early, posting a 0.045 ERA at a 2.91 expected ERA. The Reds lineup features 6 right-handed batters against the right-handed Soriano, who has stifled righties with a 263 expected WOBA. They won. Well, the bullpen imploded, but they were up like 9-0 going into the 7th. So I had Cincy under team total under first 5 under at under 1.5 at +1 score. It was great.
Yeah, forecast. Soriano should control the Reds' right-heavy lineup while the Angels' right-handed batters exploit Abbott's vulnerabilities in a hitter-friendly park.
Wait, where do you see that? Where's
Game
your
script
version
forecast?
of that?
It's the very bottom. If you go on the game script cards, so you can go in and see that there.
Things I don't.
Oh, it's like the quick, like one sentence summary that we always give on every game, but that is.
Oh, at the bottom of the thing. That's right. Exactly okay, cool. Yeah. By the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, go to handygraphs.com.
Yep.
Start a free trial. You get access to this as part of your free trial, right?
Yeah. You get access to everything as part of the free trial.
I should know this as a co-owner of the company, but yeah, it's you do. So Angel, wow, it's great. Soriano should control the Reds while they exploit. Yeah, Abbott looks terrible. Not good. Anyway, that's what it is. All right, all that stuff said and done. CJ, what's the final word?
Texas Rangers, first place, AL West.
Oh shit.